Good evening, Lacrosse fans, and welcome to Centennial High School, where tonight the 5-0 Cougars host the 5-1 Blaine Bengals. It's a matchup of the top two teams in the Northwest Suburban Conference. John Adden, glad to be with you on North Metro TV. Players getting set to take the field for this Cougars squad. They're coming off a 7-4 win over a good Maple Grove team. They've had some big blowouts this season, missed out on a game against Anoka. That's why they've played one fewer game. That game was postponed early in the year. The Bengals have won back-to-back games by decisive margins, 18-3 over Andover most recently, and 16-8 against Rogers. Second win against Rogers this season. They had fallen in the game prior back on the 5th, 13-4 against Elk River Zimmerman. That Elk River Zimmerman team, Centennial, beat 10-6 a couple of weeks ago. So, again, looks like a good matchup on paper for John Beach's Cougars team against Josh Schwartz's Bengals team, as they meet up for the first time in a couple of years. Bengals come out in the light blues, whites with the shiny helmets for the Cougars here this evening. Brock Cerna going against Nick Hajnasiewicz, excuse me, on the opening draw. We are ready to go. First face-off, one forward by Blaine, controlled cleanly, and they'll carry it into the offensive end. Passed ahead to Zach Cron. Cron, one of the top scorers for this team, works around behind the net, sends it over to the far side. Sam Olsen has it there. 11 goals for Olsen, also one of the top scorers on this team this season. Ball given out to the far side. This is a Bengals team that averages about 12 goals per game. Here, ball lost, and it is flung out of bounds. That will be Centennial ball, and will shift ends. Ball worked up, coming along the near side here for Centennial. It's controlled by Isaac Ankrum. Ball kept out at the top. Centennial really taking their time. This is Eli Ward, the senior, controlling. Ward puts a move on, trying to go to his right, cuts back, and backs out. Not a ton of movement in front of him, and he'll leave it off to the far side. Stutter step drive, and then coming into some hard contact, maintaining possession and throwing a shot towards the net. Ankrum misses wide. Centennial had position, so they'll maintain possession with that ball going out of bounds off the shot attempt. For the Cougars, here's Noah Berger. Berger giving it out to the far side. Ankrum once more. Flips to the top for Ward. Ward starts a drive. Now shoot from distance. Good stop in front. Nicely done by the Bengals keeper to shut down that opportunity. Noah Hitchcock, senior, 4-1 this year with a 6.98 goals against average and a .556 save percentage. I am missing one game from each team in terms of their stats, so we have a rough idea of who's in the lead and what numbers are, but not exactly coming in, as this shot bounces wide, misses, and goes out of bounds. Another opportunity for the Cougars, who will reset. Blaine won the opening face-off, never got a shot away. Ended up turning the ball over, and Centennial's had it since. Multiple shots, all have missed. Well, either gone wide or they've been forced wide off of the stick of Noah Hitchcock, who did make one nice play. Cougars trying to come to the front of the net, and another Hitchcock save. This time he stonewalls Noah Berger. So Hitchcock taking his time, now sends it down to the near side. Bowden Parent gives it back to Hitchcock. He'll play it up towards the middle of the field. Passing to move it upfield instead of running, and you can see why. As soon as Jonah Conrad tries to take it upfield with his legs, he gets hit all over the place. He finally does gain that offensive third, and will pass it back. Controlled here by Joe Penner. 3 goals, 14 assists. Penner, the team leader in helpers this season. He'll pass it off at the point. Anders Scheibe had it and then threw it down behind the net. Zach Cron trying to make a move, comes around to the near side post. Cron pass in front, and that one didn't get collected cleanly by Sam Olsen. Now another attempt, and this one shut down by the defense. Nice job by Centennial. They stand tall. Cougars racing upfield thanks to Sam Rodriguez. Rodriguez gets himself into the middle. His teammates have joined him, and he passes the ball off to Kai Hermanson. Hermanson then sends it around behind the net. This is Matt Claw controlling along the near side. Claw out to the top. Rodriguez once more. Hands it off to Hermanson again. Now it's Berger. Takes a little jaunt, ends up behind the net, feeling some pressure from the long stick men along the way. Now he comes towards the front, feels a little bit hooked. And the ball ends up in the crease, and scooping it there cleanly is Hitchcock. No real shot on that time, but Hitchcock comes up with it. Ball sent forward. Good pass off there by Reynolds. Now a shot towards the net, and that one misses. It's going to be close. Possession stays with the Blaine Bengals. Scoreless here in the opening 4 minutes. Bengals with possession. Hands it around to the top. Caden Bunis. Bunis a few goals this season. Ty Bunis, the senior, one of the top scorers on the team. Here Joe Penner has some trouble collecting. He regathers, leaves his man on the ground, heads towards the net. Fake the pass, now does give it off to Cade Bunis. Then a shot, and that one stopped up by the goalie once again. This time it's Andries Bromscher. Bromscher 4-0 with a 3 goals against average and a .711 save percentage. So we are still scoreless thanks to the efforts of the goalkeeping here in the opening minutes. Flag coming out as this play moves on. Centennial controls it in the offensive zone to the far side. They'll play it off to the top. Berger with it there. Makes a move towards his left. Looked like he was loading up for a shot. He holds it the whole way. Now sends a pass. This one sails a bit on the intended target, Clough. Clough gets there and will scoop it up under some duress. Now we have enough contact that a whistle comes. We had that flag fly out earlier. I believe that was picked up. And the contact here. See, the first hit came before the ball was secured. Then after that, he's got a hold of it. And then you get the whistle. So Centennial with control. 6:49 to go here in the first. Cougars give it to Dylan Zuck. He passes it off. Sent around behind the net. Berger gave it away, gets it back. Now to the far side, controlled by Ankrum. Ankrum up towards the point. Isaiah Ward had it. Still does, sends it behind again. Berger looking at his options, goes in front, quick shot, goal! Matt Clough with the score.
Scoring for the Cougars, number 8, Matthew Clough.
So Clough makes it 1-0 with 6:23 to go here in the first. And the Cougars draw first blood on the home field. Clough left uncovered, winds and fires, going low. Didn't have to skip it in, but he did send it towards that far post and low. And Hitchcock was close to getting in front of that one, but just missed. Second draw, this one scooped up by the Bengals. It's one back to Dominic Romo, and the senior headed upfield in a hurry. Now the ball lost towards the sidelines and out of bounds. So now both times Blaine has won the faceoff. They have then turned the ball over after that. Cougars push into the offensive end, looking to extend a 1-0 lead. Ankrum hands it back to Eli Ward. The senior plays it forward and give him behind the net. Berger, they go to the same spot looking for Clough again. Instead, it's played out to the point. Ankrum passing it off. Now racing in with it is Eli Ward. Ward, not sure if that was a pass or he just lost the ball. It ended up with a Centennial player in the middle, but he couldn't control. Bounces out to the near side, and Cougars do maintain their possession. Clough passes it out to Ankrum. Settles things down at the point. The Cougars have been very patient in this opening quarter. Starts to drive in. Clough leaves it back to the point. From there, Ward kind of working off a screen set by Berger. He now gets control of it. Noah looking and hands the ball to Ankrum. Clough gives out to Ankrum. Looked like he had a little trouble with that. Gets it. Feeds to Berger. Now handed off to Ward. Eli Ward starts his run to the right. Gets met by two defenders. Finally passes it off. Clough has some trouble controlling. Trying to scoop the ground ball. He had it for a moment. Now he regains clean control. Clough had some open space to the middle. Passes into the middle instead. Turning. Firing shot. Goal! It's Isaiah Ward. The patience pays off for these Cougars. They lead 2-0 as Ward gets his 8th of the season. 4:35 remaining here in the first. So I just said, it seems like there's a lot of space in the middle, and well, the ball handler didn't take advantage of that. He did have the vision with all that open space to see Ward right in front, and Isaiah Ward makes things happen. The junior on the score. Blaine again winning the draw. Ball brought into the offensive end by Nolan Bethel. Waiting for a substitution. That comes. Gives it to Sheeby at the top. He'll race himself along the far sideline. Getting pushed back by the defense. Matt Everson letting him know he's there repeatedly. Now pass behind the net. Trying to make a charge is Cron. Cron comes out to the front. The pass ends up with nobody. Loose ball out on the field. Both teams chasing after the ground ball. Centennial has it clean. Great speed there up the sideline. Everson then sends it forward. The pass a little offline. Schuvenhauer can't track it down. So turnovers both ways in the end. Blaine back into the offensive end with Joe Penner. Fakes the pass ahead, controls it along that near sideline. Feeds it out to the top for Bunis. This is Caden Bunis. Giving it back to Penner. Penner moves towards his left, getting in a little tighter, now backs out. Ball brought towards the front, looking for a low shot. That one does not go. Bounces behind the net, but not out of bounds. We play on. Bengals maintain control. They get it out towards the point. Now from the far side, another charge being put on. Bengals trying to get there individually. This ball flung behind the net. And they'll start again. Carried out front. Really tied up there is Ty Bunis, and he tries to get a shot away. That one wild and out of bounds. It does go to the Centennial Cougars. Not considered a shot, or they had a man closer. I thought the Bengals were closer, so I'm guessing that wasn't considered a shot. Cougars have with 2:45 to go in the first. They lead 2-0 and move into the offensive end. Cougars down to the near side. This is Christian Comstock. Sends it behind the net. Berger again controlling. Quick move put on. Here's a low shot. Goal! Sam Rodriguez with the score, and the Cougars have taken a 3-0 lead. So that goal comes with 2:13 remaining here in the first. Another look at Sammy's effort. Good low shot, hot shot. Goaltender had the right idea, but did not get low enough to shut that one down. Blaine's won every draw. They are still scoreless in this game, You know, Bill Hupp and I called it a Spring Lake Park game, and it started much the same way, as the Bengals will be awarded this draw as well, where the team winning all the faceoffs then didn't find any success offensively. Well, the opposition did. That changed as the game went on. Things became more at parity in both areas, but really strong start for Centennial here. Can the Bengals get on the board before this quarter is through? This is Reynolds trying to make a move. Or excuse me, Cron. Zach Cron has it. Moves in behind the net. Had a man there in Ty Bunis, but he holds for now. They work together a lot this season. Cron trying to come out to the front. Passes out. Quick move, but nothing doing there for Jonah Conrad. Now he comes around the top. Looking to let a shot go. No, he'll hold on to it. Then passed it in tight. With the move there, Ty Bunis gets to the front. The shot no good. Ball sent right back out. Here's a quick attempt that goes into a leg. Loose ball, and it is scooped up. I thought I heard a whistle before that scoop. Now we'll get a flag coming on the play as well. Nice job by the Cougars. They will get possession out of all of this. And a Bengal player will take a knee. Extra man opportunity coming up for Centennial after the leveling there, laid by Jonah Conrad. So Cougars back on the attack. A minute to go in the first. They lead 3-0. Ball behind the net with Berger. Gives it to the front. Now left up. Shot from a little bit of distance. Doesn't go, but Centennial in the right place. They maintain possession. Clock stop with 50 seconds remaining. They get it back in. Ball out towards the top. Zuck has it there. Gave it away, but gets it back, and he'll cycle it around. The whole team will all the way behind. This is Berger. Giving it to the front. Now out towards the top. Shot from there. That one misses wide. Good attempt by Dylan Zuck, who's got about a half dozen goals this season. Couldn't connect on that one. About 25 seconds left as the teams play on here in this first quarter. Cougars looking for at least one more shot. They do take it. It misses, and this ball behind the net goes out of bounds. Cougars track it down with 16 seconds remaining. Centennial gives it to Clough right up front. He makes a move, takes a shot, goal! Beautiful play there by Matt Clough. His second of the day. Looked like he was going to go with a straight shot. And then he puts the move on to give himself some space. Take another look. Fed to the front. He can just try and take a shot here, but nope. Spin move. Goes low and scoops that one in. Just 10 seconds left in the first, and he's made it a 4-0 game. Clough into double figures with goals this season. The scoring for the Centennial team that averages 11 goals has been very spread out. Ball scooped by nobody initially. If nobody has it before the end of the period, do we award a winner for the draw? Yeah, I'll give it to Blaine. They scooped it up just as the quarter was coming to an end. So the Bengals have won every draw, but the Cougars have scored every goal. They lead 4-0. We'll pause and come back for the start of the second in just a moment here on North Metro TV.
Hey Will, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckle tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hands, trying to take somebody back. Because you see, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
When you look look at the number of disasters in the U.S., chances are every area will deal with some kind of emergency in the next decade. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
High school lacrosse on North Metro TV this evening. It's been a great start for the hometown Cougars. Scored all 4 goals in the first. Matt Clough bookended the quarters, scoring about halfway through and then getting another with just 10 seconds left in between. Isaiah Ward and Sammy Rodriguez added to the total. So added up, that's 4 so far. Blaine has come up empty in the scoring department. So what will change here? The Bengals, again, we've talked about it, doing a great job winning faceoffs, but haven't gotten anything going offensively. In fact, not even that many shots attempted to challenge Bromster at this point. All right, Cougars returning to the field. Bengals as well. The Bengals allow just 6 goals per game so far this season. Here today, they've allowed 4 in the first. Bengals had a shutout against Osseo Park Center. They've held 2 different teams to just 3 goals in a game. Yet here today, the score's been run up pretty quick. Bengals win another draw. Ball played forward. Here's a shot. Save made. Bromsher with another nice stop. And that is frustrating for the Bengals. Even when they do get something that looks pretty good, Bromsher has been able to shut them down. Cougars head the other way. This is Hermanson. Sends it ahead. Spin move in front. Going in hard. Shot. Goal! It's Eli Ward on the score, and Centennial wastes no time once they have possession. They take it right in and get the score, 5-0.
Elijah Ward.
"25 seconds is all it took to get a goal. Take another look here. Just aggressive. I mean, this is the most aggressive play we've seen from Centennial all evening in terms of not really setting up the offense, trying to get something in transition. And the transition scoring worked that time. Draw. Cougars win their first of the night. So everything going Centennial's way. Eli Ward brings it into the offensive end. Ward's got some size. He's waiting for reinforcements. Just bullied his way in once. We'll settle things down at the top. Starts a rush. Passes it off. A little bit of trouble there controlling for Isaiah Ward, and it does get away from him. Loose ball. Ward able to track it down in the end. Passes it forward behind the net. Now a quick pass to the front, and that one escapes everybody. We get a whistle on the play. It will be Bengal ball, but they've got to return it back. Right idea, but catching that ball on the run, fairly tough. But a good passing team is just going to be a good team every single time. You can struggle in almost every other area, but if you can pass the ball, and not just 1 or 2 guys, but throughout the roster, going to find a lot of success. Here's shot, nice save, getting down on that one. Bromsher dropping to a leg, nearly the splits. He's able to get the stick in the way, it looked like. Might have been his leg, but really sat down, got in front of that ball. 2 minutes into this second quarter. It's a 5-0 game in favor of Centennial. One of those goals coming here in the second. Bengals trying to get on the board. Race to the front shot, and that one's stopped down. Bromger can't be beat. Might have had some help from his defense this time. Isaac Ankrum looking to run upfield. Ankrum heads towards the sidelines, gets a little push, but he stays inbounds, comes around to the front. He's still heading towards the net, passes it off to Clough, shot, goal! Hat trick for Clough. Ankrum does all the work, and Clough sits on the doorstep, puts it home, 6-0 Centennial.
Scoring his third goal of the game for Centennial number 8, Matthew Clough. Assisted by number 11, Isaac Ankrum.
So Ankrum, runs about 100 yards, maybe not quite, but he basically goes coast to coast, and at the end, little pass off. Clough kept it up high that time. He puts it in. Centennial extends the lead to 6-0. 9:34 remaining here in this second. Off the draw. Cougars waiting back as Blaine resets. Yet another face-off win for the Bengals. Blaine really taking their time. Kind of dangerously playing along the midfield stripe, and they do lose control. Knocked away off the turnover. Centennial trying to race upfield. Passing didn't work out by Isaiah Ward, able to get back on it. Centennial leaving the ball up at the top. This is Rodriguez. Moves around a screen, and we get a whistle on the play. Possession changes hands. Bengals control. Just an absolutely gorgeous night to be outside, playing, watching, whatever. You don't even have to be paying attention. You could be reading a book. Just a great day to be outside. A lot of folks have chosen to spend that day here, but not just here. There's a baseball or a softball game going on in one of the other fields. Lots of fans in attendance for that. A great excuse to get out of the house right now and enjoy the outdoors. Off the turnover by the Bengals, Centennial back on the attack, trying to extend what is right now a 6-0 lead. Cougars give to Zuck. Dylan Zuck gives it to Clough. Clough sends it behind the net. Coming around to the front. Berger trying to pass. That eluded everyone. Skips out of bounds in a hurry. Scores table able to grab hold of it. So possession changes hands. One of the very few turnovers for Centennial. They've been shut down a couple of times by the goaltender, but mostly when they've left the offensive end, it's been with a goal in hand. Bengals nearly turning it over here. It's a loose ball. Blaine does recover. Nicely done that time by the Bengals' Caden Bunis. But in the end, we do get a whistle to give possession back to the Centennial Cougars. Zuck ready to go, sends it forward. Maxwell Taylor, the senior, carrying upfield. Taylor, good find, gets it to Clough. He's been a good man to go to throughout. He controls towards that far post, leaves his man behind. Clough didn't have the angle to go to the net, he didn't feel like. Now he will try, gets in behind. And Clough resetting. Gives it out towards the far side. Berger has it there. He's operated from all over, a lot from behind, some from the point. Here he passes right to the front. This shot point blank range, and And Justin Schuvenhauer can't make it happen. Goes over the crossbar. Sent out of bounds. Centennial maintains possession. Schuvenhauer now gives it up to Rodriguez. To the top, Berger. And it's controlled by Dylan Zuck. Here a shot goes off a shin, and that bounces towards midfield. Cougars back on it thanks to Berger. He plays it forward to Dylan Zuck. Stutter step move. Zuck comes on the run, takes a shot that misses and goes out of bounds. Cougar ball. A little over 6 minutes remaining. So we're about midway through this second quarter. Berger up at the top. Drives, feels some pressure from the defense, gets in deep, shot, goal! Just a start from the top. There was some pressure, but not nearly enough, and the junior makes it 7-0.
Scoring for the Cougars, number 23, Noah Berger.
So Berger scores with 5 minutes and 53 seconds to play in the second quarter. His first of the night. The Centennial's done a good job of getting different guys on the field, getting different guys into the offense. Yes, Clough has 3 goals, but it also means 4 other players have scored so far. The draw pushed around a bit. Bengals nearly got it. And now it's Centennial. They do, in fact, have it in the end. Nicely done. Flag comes out as we play on. Ankrum up to the front. Here, a quick turnaround shot for Ward. That one shut down by the goaltender. Ward again, this time bounces it right in front. Right idea, trying for a quick shot, but it does carry over and out. Let's see what the flag's about before awarding anything else. Penalty is against the Bengals. A man taking a knee. Centennial gets the advantage. Extra man opportunity here. Matt Clough ready to bring it in. Bengals trying to get their defense straightened out. Looks like they're ready, so Clough able to send it in. Berger just scored the last goal. Holding on. Gave it out to the top. A little bit of handle trouble there for Dylan Zuck. He recovers. Zuck trying for some distance. It is stopped by the goaltender. Ended up right underneath Hitchcock. He didn't know where the ball was. His defenders came in to trap it, but it was in that crease, so. Good save that time. And possession goes to the Bengals out of all of that. They bring it upfield, have some trouble along the way. Now it's batted around, and Centennial's just done a great job of creating and then obtaining. As you take another look at that most recent save, yeah, he got it with the leg, so he felt it, but he didn't know where it was after that. Could have bounced anywhere. Instead, it just sat right down. Centennial's possession didn't last long, but again, they've done a great job of forcing turnovers throughout the course of this matchup. Bengals trying to move upfield and get on the board. Possession coming back to Centennial. Scoring drought for the Bengals, as I talked about it, 12 goals per game, coming off 18 and 16 in their last 2 respectively. Lowest scoring effort of the season was 4 goals. Otherwise, everything else is 9 or more in a game. And yet, with 4:20 remaining here in the second quarter, there's a chance they don't get on the board before halftime against Centennial. It's an undefeated Cougar squad playing on their home field and trying to take advantage of that. After tonight, their next 4 games for the Cougars will be on the road, starting with a matchup at Champlin Park on Friday. Here, ball towards the front of the net. Bengals get nothing for it. And again, trying to get a shot away. This one just lost, and it rolls out of bounds. No possession there. Last touch by the Cougars. Bengals will maintain. Bengals get it out to Caden Bunis. Gives to Penner. Teammates come in from the sideline. Bengals send it behind the net for Zach Cron. Second on the team in goals, second on the team in assists. Cron knocked down to the ground, ball scooped immediately by the Cougars, but a flag comes out on the contact. So we stop playing with about 3.5 minutes remaining. And the Bengals will hold on to the ball. Take another look. There was a bump and then a shove. The slow motion did a good job of showing that off. Good look on the replay. The bump, I think they let go, but then the shove afterwards is the problem. Ball behind the net for Cron. Gives it out to the far side. Cycled around. And this is Cron on the outside. Now trying to shot. Goal! There it is. Ty Bunis. Almost like a fake, and then the clean shot, starting low, and it rose on its way towards the net. That goal comes with 3:14 remaining, and the Bengals do get on the board. Bunis, the team leader in goals, coming in. Good eye there. He's able to notch the score. So in a 7-1 game, Bengals have something to feel a little better about. Long road to go, though, to catch up to what Centennial's done. Bengals win the draw, courtesy of Nick Hasnasuwitz. Get a whistle. I'm going to check the pocket on this. That's what's causing the break. Now we got a timeout here as well, it looks like. So more than just that. But the official giving it a good once over. With 3:08 remaining here in the second. Even making adjustments or no, he was doing the measuring. Got the ruler out. Seems okay with it. This particular official has been on top of a lot of things here today, so keeping a close eye on that. And has the chat with the face-off man for Centennial. Seems like some really good conversation going on there. .308 left here in this second quarter. Cougars head out onto the field. They've lost their shutout, but still lead by 6 goals in the second quarter, late in this second quarter. So a lot to feel good about for John Beach's squad. I wonder if John Beach is the reason they played so many Beach Boys songs coming into the game. There is a different mix of music here than I am used to for our typical high school sporting events. Part of that is that I recognize all of the songs. Since I'm not in high school, I'm guessing the players on the field would prefer something else. Stuff that they would recognize more. Bengals ball out of the break. And Blaine playing with it deep in their own end. Hitchcock starts to bring it up. His pass a little bit rough, but Nolan Bethel does a nice job to get to it. The senior Bethel moves into the offensive end. He'll move around a man who hits him from behind a few times. A lot of pressure being put on Bethel. Continues to run and just wears it repeatedly. Finally, the ball knocked loose. This is what Centennial loves to do. Now a man goes down to the ground, but it is Centennial that comes up with the ball. They start to pass it out, but we've got a whistle and a flag on the play. So things stop up with 2:26 remaining. Looks like Centennial getting another EMO. Yep, Blaine player takes a knee. And Scheibe. Centennial coach getting a chat from our official. Look at that hard hit. That's what put the player in the box. So does Scheibe, excuse me. That's Sam Olson who's taking a knee. So the physical play might be a detriment to the Blaine Bengals. Centennial's got a long ways to go up the field, but they didn't have too much trouble scoring on even strength. One of the biggest crowds I've seen, and as I talked about, the weather's beautiful, no reason not to come out. So Cougars setting up the offense. This is Dylan Zuck. Pass it off to Clough. Zuck gets it back. Worked around to the near side. Isaac Ankrum passing behind the net. Berger back out towards the point. Zuck gets it from Clough. Down to the near side, just cycling it around. Now they cut it back. Ankrum looking for a man in the middle. Gets the pass away. This shot misses. Then stopped up behind the net by the offense. Isaiah Ward on that big shot attempt. Ball given to Ankrum. Ankrum cutting in, goes to Berger behind the net. Now the pass out front, intercepted, and we get a whistle along the way. So Blaine will send another man off. We're gonna change sticks here, get an extra long stick in. Now that Bowden Parent is out, let's see what Parent did with that stick. Yeah, I mean, it's hard for the officials to miss you directly hitting someone in the face. Clough gets the pass from across, and he misses over the crossbar by a good margin on that shot attempt. Mentioned the Cougars have Champlin Park in their next matchup. Here they get it out to the front for Ward, now across to Clough. Ward gets it back, he'll take the shot. Hasn't been hesitant about shooting so far. Unable to connect on that one, but he did score early. The Bengals' next matchup is at Totino Grace. Off the miss. Ball out of bounds and brought back in by the Cougars. Up front to Clough, now Zuck. Zuck will try the shot. That one goes right into the shin of a defender. Now pushed to the front of the net. Physical play. Here's a shot from right in front. Goal! Isaiah Ward with his second of the day. And Ward, a straightaway shot. Hard to get a better line of sight than he had there. Really, the effort there of Ankrum. Ankrum has been working for his assists here tonight. ran all the way from one end of the field to the other on one, and now getting physical in front to draw in the defense and allow Isaiah Ward the easy look. So the goal comes with about 47 seconds left. We're back to a 7-goal game. 8-1 the lead in favor of Centennial. So Centennial with as many goals here in the second quarter as they had in the first. Blaine getting its only goal in the second quarter. Now with limited time remaining, off the draw, nobody's got it. Now a whistle and possession to the Bengals. Bengals pass it forward into the offensive end. Controlled here by Ty Bunis. Bunis tries to pass it out towards the top. Penner couldn't control it clean. It heads towards the mid-stripe line, poked at a bit. Now Centennial catches it on the run. Cougars with 22 seconds left coming in hot. This shot stopped up. The long stickman trying to get in there and make something happen. We head the other direction, feed forward to Penner. Penner has it with 8 seconds left, heads towards the net, now trips up along the way, scooped by the Cougars. They'll have it, not enough time to get a real shot away. Pass forward, and we wrap up the second quarter of play. Again, the Cougars add 4 more goals. The Bengals get on the board after 1 half of play. Centennial leads the Bengals 8-1 in boys lacrosse. We'll recap the first and come back for the second next here on North Metro TV. (8-1) after 1 half of play in favor of the Centennial Cougars. In this boys lacrosse matchup, John Haddon back with you along with our entire North Metro TV crew. Let's take a look at some of the action from the first half that led us to this 8-1 score. Blaine winning a lot of draws, but not putting it in the net. Some good defense early, then Matt Clough lifts the lid about midway through the first half. After that, it gets poured on. Isaiah Ward making it 2-0. Physical play into the second. Good defense there. Hitchcock has had an all right day, but he has faced a barrage of shots. Here's the only one that went in for Blaine. Ty Bunis getting the score. More of that physicality, but more than anything, it was about Centennial goals. Ankrum with some great assists, another score by Ward. He had 2 in that first half. The leading scorer was Clough, had 3. And we are underway with the second half. 8-1 again, that lead for Centennial over the Bengals. Blaine wins the opening draw here in the second. They have dominated faceoffs throughout, only leaving a couple out there for Centennial to take. Bengals with it. Zach Cron has had the ball a fair number of times, but has been quiet for a guy who's one of the top scorers on this team. Bunis has 1 for himself, but the next top 2 scorers are Sam Olsen and Zach Cron coming into this game. Ball carried towards the front. They try to give a pass to Olsen. He can't collect it, and that's been the play for the Bengals repeatedly. Try to get it to a cutter coming down the middle, but it has just not worked out. The Centennial defense has covered up time and time again. This ground ball going about 50 yards, finally collected by Blaine. They'll give it back to Hitchcock, their goaltender. Long pass upfield to nobody. Bouncing ball scooped up by the Bengals. Controlled cleanly by Ty Bunis. He carries around the far side. And Bunis all the way in behind the net. Starts a charge to the front. Gets in deep. The pass to the cutter. Penner heads out of bounds, and that's Centennial ball. So again, the philosophy continues to be relatively the same offensively for the Bengals. Find a cutter and pass it off, but the Cougars pinched in so tight in front of that net. There hasn't been a lot going on for the Bengals scoring-wise. Cougars set up the offense. It only took them 25 seconds into the second quarter to get a goal. As I mentioned a bit ago, it was about midway through the first when they opened the scoring. Centennial pushed quite a ways back so far, so that going out of bounds on that play was Aiden Cummins. Ball passed forward. Centennial able to knock it down and steal it away. Good job by the long stickman. Matt Everson has had some good defensive plays here in terms of forcing turnovers. Ward passing to the front. That one knocked away from Cummins. Loose ball scooped up by Hitchcock. So the goaltender holds on. Bengals now passing it forward. Gilbertson along that near sideline. Van Gilder playing it forward. And the Bengals have it in the offensive end. Penner out to the point for Caden Bunis. Sophomore gives it back to Penner. Surveying his options, gets it to the new man on the field. Now Ty Bunis out towards the back corner. Bunis starts a charge. Gives it to the cutter. This shot bounces off of a couple of different players, and we had a flag fly out as well. So nothing's changing in terms of the X's and O's for the Bengals. It's hard enough to get a clean shot off when you add the moving target to receive that ball in order to get a shot off, as Cougars player takes a knee. Reese Littlefield. It seems like there's been a little bit too much complexity to the Bengals attack compared to what Centennial's been able to do, simplifying their defense. And that's keep things tight in the middle. I mean, they've done a nice job rotating defensively. Penner plays it low, now gets it back. Out to the point, just cycling the ball around at this point. Ty Bunis back out towards the top. This is Zach Cron. Over to Penner. Feed towards the middle, deflected and picked off. Centennial with control after forcing yet another turnover. Turnovers heavily favoring the Bengals, never a category that you want to lead in that first half. This is Berger getting the pass. Nice job by Ankrum, who was under duress. We get a flag coming out. Cougars maintaining their possession while that lays on the ground. For Centennial, this is Eli Ward, had a goal earlier. Now Berger starts a charge towards the net and slows up. Back out to Ward. To the far side for Cummins. Ward. We get a whistle on the play. Substitutions galore for the two teams before we'll resume. That flag finally gets picked up. It was about the possession being changing hands before they would let that come. All right, after all that, we're getting ready to go here. Still some sun in the eyes of goaltender Hitchcock. The second half is when players are going to have to face it for the most part at this point in the year. Ball controlled by the Cougars. Try to feed it into the middle. Loose ball now, scooped up by the Bengals for a moment. Cougars get right back on top of it, thanks to Isaiah Ward. Ball trickles out of bounds. It was off of the Cougars thanks to the efforts of the Bengals. Blaine looking to go long with this entry pass. Just a bit over 7 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. This pass nearly picked off by the Cougars. Centennial, or rather the Bengals come up with it and then lose it immediately. Got it over to a long stickman. And Colin Reynolds couldn't handle the pressure brought by Centennial. For the Cougars, here's Isaac Ankrum at the top. Substitutions coming for the Cougars, who set up with their offensive unit. Ankrum will give it to Rodriguez, who just checked in. Now to the top for Berger. Berger starts a drive, bounces hard into a man, gets it to the front for Ward. Ward couldn't collect it. Flag comes out as Rodriguez recovers the ball. Rodriguez to the top. Berger loads up his shot, shut down by Hitchcock. Great save there by Noah Hitchcock. Collected it cleanly in the twine. So once the Bengals got a hold of that ball, we get to see what the flag's all about. And after all of that, even though the Bengals made the stop because their man Jonah Conrad is being penalized, the Cougars will stay on offense. Midway through the third quarter, we have not had a score. So this is the longest we've gone in a quarter without a score. Cougars from the point. Zuck over to Clough, who's got 3 goals. Back up to Zuck, who's been on the offensive end throughout. I don't know that he's taken many shots. Clough from the front, tries to get around a man. Now snaps a shot off. That bounces just wide. Another feed to the front for Ward. Quick shot and a goal! Isaiah Ward just has a great ability to contort his body and get a shot away very quickly. He scored to wrap up the second, and now to start the third, he gets the first goal. A hat trick for Ward in today's game. So really impressive effort for him. This one comes with 5:32 remaining here in the third quarter. Centennial's lead now 9-1. Here, pass towards the front. They were looking for Ward again. 2 bodies collided hard. Ward comes away with the ball. He's one of the bigger guys. I mean, he's got some serious size to him as you watch out there, and he is fearless and athletic at the same time. We saw that move in the front on his last goal, and he's done that fairly regularly. But he doesn't get run off of ground balls much. When he gets challenged physically, he's able to meet that challenge and usually beat it. Another save by Hitchcock. He's had some beauties today, but he has been under fire throughout. Hence the 9 goals that have gone in for Centennial today, despite some of his good efforts. This ball pushed, now loose along the sideline. Centennial scoops up the ground ball. It's Ankrum with control. Feeds it towards the front, looking for Clough. He's got it and will retreat down towards the near sideline, waiting for his teammates to set up. Now Clough comes out towards the top. Starts a run right down the middle. Gets in deep, wants to give it to Ward in front. And he got caught up towards the crease. Ended up he couldn't play that ball once it rolled in towards Hitchcock. Long feed forward by the Bengals. Ball just sat down there. The intended target couldn't find it, but his teammates do. Bengals moving in. Air ball towards the middle. We've got this game here. There's girls lacrosse with Blythe doing a one-cam shoot tonight. Centennial at Blaine, so same schools. Just the ladies over at Blaine High School. 3:25 remaining here in the third quarter. Our next broadcast will actually be the Centennial Choir Concert on the 15th. That's at 7 o'clock. Next Monday, back on the air. Right now, I think we're slated for 3 games. And check the schedule. Centennial and Blaine are set to match up in some evening baseball over at Blaine. There's also boys lacrosse, Centennial at Spring Lake Park, and Spring Lake Park at Centennial for girls lacrosse. All of that on Monday. 2:47 left here in this third quarter. Cougars on the attack. Rodriguez loses the ball, trying to scoop it up. Retreats back towards midfield, and he collects. Rodriguez out to the far side, now given behind the net for Berger. Berger challenging to get in front. Keeps getting pushed. Just looking for enough space to get a shot away, it looked like. Now he'll back out and see if he can't get some help from his teammates. Blaine's defense getting more physical as the game goes on. Centennial's defense has played that way throughout. It's a big part of their success to this point. 2 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Hermanson starting a drive. Now feeds it to the front for Rodriguez. He turns, fires, goal! Rodriguez, who looked like he wanted to start with an attack from his right, then sees how open things are, spins around, shoots it from the left. His second goal of the game. So Rodriguez scores with just 1:43 remaining in this third quarter. It is a 10-1 lead for Centennial. They've scored the last 3 goals. You see, his momentum had him going like he would shoot that with his right, but he turns the other direction and gets the shot away low and effective. Unable to kick the leg out in time was Hitchcock. So into double figures go the Cougars, courtesy of Rodriguez's latest score. Cougars on the attack. The long stickman lets it fly. Leo Troji trying to make something happen. The senior can't find the crossbar, get it underneath. Cougars with possession, carrying it around the far side. Given to Rodriguez out at the point. Just scored a moment ago. Excuse me, that's Dylan Zuck, 6, not 16. Zuck takes a shot that misses, and the Cougars back on it. We'll hold the possession. Schuffenhofer now to the top. Cummins tried to pass it off to Cooper Larson, the junior. Couldn't get a hold of it. Nearly lost. They recover. Larson trying to carry it forward. Looks like a hold there, and instead, Bengals will gain possession with about a minute to go in the third quarter. Long feed forward. This one collected by Blaine. They head right to the goal shot, and that one stopped up by the defense. First, there was some physical play to knock the attacker away. He still got the shot away, and in the end, Bromsher able to make the stop. Cougars take it the other direction, and they put it in. A goal for Centennial, and off that score, Matt Everson making things happen. We talked about his efforts defensively. This time, the man with the long stick puts it home. It's a 10-goal lead for the Cougars, 11-1. So you'll see this all the way through, right? They create the turnover, and they waste no time with it. get it to the other end of the field. Offense feeding the long stick man, and he shoots from a bit of distance there. Great control by Eberson. His goal comes with about 46 seconds remaining. And we have an 11-1 score. Clock doesn't look like it started. No, no one had possession of the draw yet. Here we go. Bengals should probably not waste any time here offensively. Here we go, head towards the net. A lot of contact along the way. Ball bounces behind and then gets away from the Bengals. Cougar possession. Got to go to the length of the field in 20 seconds. Here's Maxwell Taylor. Cougars racing upfield, physical play along the way, but able to carry up. Now a feed forward. That one eludes Christian Comstock, heads towards the sidelines. Held in there by the Cougars, but nothing will come of that in the end. 3 goals in the third. They all go to the Cougars. Ward gets his hat trick, and we have an 11-1 game with 1 frame left to play. Cougars on top by 10. We'll pause and then return for more here on North Metro TV.
An apple core, or potato peels, that leftover pizza you promised you'd eat.
Ew.
Those dirty napkins and paper towels. Stop treating us like garbage. Did you know up to 30% of what you're throwing away could be composted? Composting gives your discards new life, which can be used to improve soil. To learn more about the new organics drop-off programs available throughout the county and get your free starter kit, go to anokacounty.us/organics.
One quarter left to go here at Centennial High School, where the hometown Cougars lead 11-1. Get a look there at the Bengals. Rylan Dickerson, the freshman, stepping into the goal. At least for some practice shots for now. We'll see if he's actually coming on. The day is done for Hitchcock, who again made some nice saves. However, the barrage of shot attempts by Centennial has allowed the Cougars to build a 10-goal lead. The Bengals have had very few possessions that, well, 1 resulted in goals. You can see that on the scoreboard, but 2 resulted in multiple opportunities at shots. So yeah, there it is. Dickinson comes in. And valuable opportunity for the freshman. Let's see what he can do, taking over for the senior here in the 4th. So the Bengals need about a goal a minute here in the 4th. And as time ticks, well, probability is low at this point. Possibility will eventually cross over and no longer be an option. Bengals do win the draw. You got a whistle on this play, though. After all that, it will be Bengal ball, and they start to move in. Or will it? There's been a lot more explaining. It's been kind of a slower pace on these penalties than we've had in some other games. Not that that's a bad thing. Still a sport that a lot of folks are not super familiar with, even the ones who are parents and come out to watch. And there are lots of sports that parents aren't that familiar with, that they think they are, so they yell a lot. Here's a shot and a goal. Bengals do get on the board. Well, if they're doing 1 a minute, 22 seconds into this fourth, pretty good. Sam Olsen with the score. But the point I was making is I think parents feel like they know so little about this game that they can't yell at the officials. They're fairly quiet throughout. 11-2 the score. So Olsen with a dozen goals this season. And we'll get another draw. Looks like we've made some changes on the face-off as well. That Ankrum in for the Cougars. Ajna Seawitz still going for the Bengals. Ball carried forward. Great pick there by Ankrum. He moves into the offensive zone. Isaac Ankrum with the long stick now, trying to get the shot away. Doesn't go. I don't think it was Ankrum on that draw. He's the one who came up with it afterwards, so my apologies. They did make a change. It was Cerna early. Cougars now set up the offense. Obviously no reason to rush if you're the Cougars, but also you have to play the game of playing the game. Like you actually want to score. You want to take shots. When really the clock is the biggest enemy of the Cougars at this point. Here. Ball lost out of bounds. Cougars play this to the front. Here a shot, and that one shut down. The freshman able to make the save. Now he's going to launch a long pass downfield. Good pass, not received totally cleanly, and then not scooped on the second try either. That's tough. Dominic Romo had trouble getting a hold of it. Still loose out there, and both teams fighting for it. Centennial comes up with control. So the Cougars moving upfield. Matt Everson has a goal, and he's racing in. Might try for another. Instead, passes it off in front to Ward. Shot, goal! Check that. That ball headed to Christian Comstock, and he gets the score. First of the day for Comstock, and Centennial moves back out to a 10-point advantage.
Scoring for the Cougars, number 47, Christian Comstock.
Comstock hasn't been a big-time scorer for this team this year, but he did get on the board. Now with 12 goals, the Cougars exceeding their season average. We talked about it earlier, 11 goals per game. The high this season for the Cougars is 16. Certainly not out of the question with 10 minutes left in this game. They only scored 3 goals in the third quarter, so they have slowed down a bit from the 4 each they had in the first 2. Blaine man goes down hard, and with that a whistle follows. A little bit of trouble, but able to get himself off is Colin Reynolds, the sophomore. Looks like he just needs a minute more than anything since he was able to run himself off the field. Bengals with control here, Caden Bunis. Hard hit on Bunis. Ball knocked away. Great battle there between the 13s. Now it's scooped up by Centennial. Here's Cerna towards the offensive end. Was in on the draws earlier, now trying to make something happen. Sends it to the near side. This is Aiden Cummins. Plays it out towards the point. Berger, with 9 minutes left, hands it off to Rodriguez, who just checked in offensively. Back to Berger. Cummins. Back to Berger again. So the Cougars came in 5-0. The top team in the Northwest Suburban, taking on the second seed. And they've done everything to solidify that at this point in the season, they are the team to beat in the Northwest Suburban. To come away with the win against Maple Grove the other day, and now to do the same here against the Bengals. It's going to give them some room at the top of the standings. Here's a shot. That one misses for Berger. Possession stays with the Cougars. High likelihood that this Cougar team would be good, but you never know, how good, and we still don't know that, right? But we know that 2 years ago, this was a team that went to the state tournament. In fact, they beat the Blaine Bengals to get there, winning 14-7 in the section championship. But 2 years ago is a long time. It wouldn't be even something we talk about really here, as a shot bounces in for a goal. We said he hadn't taken many shots. He does now. The score for Dylan Zuck. So Zuck scores with 7:47 remaining. 13-2, Centennial's lead. Now, certainly we would typically talk about a team making it to state if it was 2 years ago, but you wouldn't necessarily think about carryover from that because you'd have a whole season in between, and either you carried it over and we'd be talking about last year's efforts, or you didn't, and we'd still be talking about last year's efforts with just a mention of, oh yeah, remember when they went to state a couple of years ago? But with no season in 2021, that's all we knew about this team. Hey, they went to state 2 years ago. But how many of these guys were on this team? How many of these guys were playing a significant role? Because they would have been sophomores back then. Matt Clough, maybe. Brock Cerna, maybe. They would have been players. Would they have been the keys? No. Not the key players. Centennial having some trouble receiving that pass. Logan Adams has that one get away from him. Just a freshman. Bengals will take over possession with 7:16 remaining here in the fourth. Long pass forward. That one received cleanly by Nolan Bethel. Bethel sent it ahead to Bunis. Bunis towards the near corner. Thought about a feed out front. Now passes it off to Jonah Conrad. Out to the top. Scheibe trying to make a couple moves, takes a shot. That one stopped up by the goaltender. Bromsher still in net for Centennial and doing good work there. He's only allowed 2 goals in this game. Here, quick flip to the front. That one doesn't work out. They wanted to get it to Adams. He couldn't catch it on the move, and then on the backside, Eli Ward couldn't get there in time to keep it in bounds. Bengal ball. So again, both these teams back in action on Friday night. For the Bengals, it's at Totino Grace. For the Cougars, it's at Champlain Park. And one of the things they've done this year, as Bunis brings this towards the front, takes the shot, it misses wide, is instead of the double headers that we see somewhat regularly for the varsity side on boys and girls, they've sent the teams to opposite schools. So the boys are here and the girls are at Blaine, and see that through a fair number of the matchups as the schedule's pretty simplified this year in comparison to even other years. Teams play on almost the same night all the time. Here, a shot gets stopped by traffic right in front, a shot and a goal. Bengals back on the board on the rebound score. by Blaine's Nolan Bethel. Nice score by the senior. And it's 13-3 with that Bengal goal. So mentioned earlier, the lowest scoring effort for the Bengals this season was 4 goals. They now have 3 in this matchup. The only game they lost is when they scored only 4 goals. And again, it's not official till it's official, but all signs pointing to the Centennial victory here tonight, which would push the Cougars to 6-0 or 6-0 on the season. Off the draw, nobody's got it yet. Bengals kind of punching it towards their own goaltender and finally collect. So Blaine with it along the far sideline under some duress. Now a pass flipped to the near sideline, collected by Gilbertson. He heads upfield waiting for a defender to meet him and then passes it along that near sideline. Gets it ahead to Canavari. Now towards the top, setting up the offense, then hands it off to Jonah Conrad. He starts to drive towards the net, gets in deep, doesn't get a shot away. Now a follow-up attempt misses, and a flag was flying before that second shot ever got away. 5 minutes stopped on the fourth quarter clock. So the Cougars will have a man take a knee after this. The Bengals will set up on the attack. Bunis controlling the ball along the near sideline, ready to go. Now we get a whistle. What's the issue here? Are we not ready? Somebody wasn't. We're not changing possession. Take another look at the drive that led to the penalty. It's probably that head contact at the end, yeah. Guilty party Jake Long, the junior. Bengals feed it to the front on the EMO, and that shot misses wide. There was nobody covering on the backside. We get a flag on this, but great job by the Centennial goaltender to know where the Bengals were and then race behind the net. That is a big mistake by the Bengals. One of the reasons Centennial has been so successful tonight is even when they've missed, they've had guys on the backside every time to make sure that they maintain possession. All right, back to the action. Bengals send it in. Play it out towards the top for Penner. Joe Penner holding on. Again, this is an extra man opportunity. But the Bengals, here we go. All right. They pass it around a bit, but the clock hadn't started. The whistles, nothing there. Now a shot. The defender got a stick in there, and the ball went nowhere. Kind of just flopped in front. Cougars collected thanks to Everson. Slides a pass forward. Man catches, takes the hit in stride, and moves into the offensive end. Nice shot by Leo Troji. Troji, used to playing physical sports, had it knocked away towards the far sideline. Loses it again. A lot of physical contact, and now a lot of waving by the official. And we had a timeout called for by Centennial. Not by Centennial. Centennial was the team that called the timeout. 13-3 our score, 4:05 remaining in the fourth quarter. Talked about some of the upcoming action. Most of it moving into next week when it comes to sports. Again, you can go to northmetrotv.com to find the entire schedule and see as it updates, and it will be updating. We are now, about midway through the spring season, so looking at some postseason possibilities for our spring sports. So the Cougars asked for this timeout, trying to use this time to teach some of the younger players that are out on the field playing in this fourth quarter situation trying to maintain the same style of play they've had throughout when the starters were on the field more, and make sure that the youngsters are keeping up with that. So this is the final game of 3 straight here at home for the Cougars. That's part of the reason they've got the 4-game stretch on the road after this. Good game there for Bromsher. You got to look at him. We head to the Bengal end. Centennial ball out of this break. Centennial working off a screen, and that'll get a whistle. Bengal ball. Ankrum got a set free on that play. By Logan Adams, and that's what drew the whistle. Bengals push into the offensive zone. Cougars able to knock it away, and then scooping it up. I thought he was going to let it roll out, but Leo Troji picks it up. He dekes a man and moves ahead. Now passes it to midfield. Carried into the offensive zone by Cooper Larson. Tried to hand it back. A little bit of trouble there. Waiting back on it was Wistersill to make sure it didn't get too far. Certainly a couple of hockey players back on that defense for the Centennial Cougars. Adams, they've been giving him the ball regularly. The freshman now sends it out to Eli Ward. Ward trying to make a move. Pass it to the middle. Isaiah Ward shot, goal. The 4th of the game. And he is now the leading scorer on the night. Clough had those 3 very early to get the hat trick. He was matched by Ward, and now he's been overtaken by Isaiah Ward.
Scoring for the Cougars, number 32, Isaiah Ward. That's his 4th goal of the game.
3 minutes left in the 4th, and Ward makes it a 14-3 lead. Off the face-off, Blaine awarded the ball. Bengals into the offensive end. This is Bethel. Bethel scored just a bit ago to make it 13-3. Now we're at 14-3. From behind the net, this is Zach Cron. Try to flip it out to the top. Nobody home. Bengals and Cougars chasing after it. Ball. Great job back there for Blaine. That was Mike Felty popping it towards his teammates, and the Bengals maintain the offensive possession because of that play. Here's a pass towards the middle. Good feed, a shot, and that one stopped up by the new goaltender. Rebound and a goal. The Bengals get the score for Blaine. That's Nolan Bethel. So he just scored a bit ago. Bethel scores again. And for a guy who hadn't had much success scoring goals before tonight, he's found a pair. Back to a 10-point game at 14-4. Got that goal against Trenton Kramer. Kramer, a freshman, has just played a handful of minutes coming into the day. I believe that's the first goal he's allowed. Off the draw, won by the Cougars. It is Ankrum on those draws with the long stick. Carries into the offensive end. Gave it up to Kai Hermanson. Cougars now have it out on the far side. Ball passed over to Brock Carls. Now back towards the top for Hermanson. He had a little trouble handling it, recovers. Hermanson looking for a cutter. Now he'll start to drive himself. Passes it off. Feed to the middle. Not secured. Ball loose in front. Rolls towards the goaltender, and it is scooped up by Dickinson. Bengals into the offensive end. Good move there by Chase Van Gilder. Tries to pass it off, knocked away. Cougars chasing, and they've got control. Into the offensive end goes Everson, looking for another goal. This one misses wide. Bengals. Goaltender Dickinson able to get out quickly, so possession to the Bengals off that play. With the ball going out, we stop with 1:14 remaining, but the fans are starting to fold blankets and pack up. Dickinson walking it upfield. Now 20 yards out of his net, tries to pass it away. Bouncing around loose. Cougars trying to fight for control. This ball nearly went out of bounds, but stays in. Now the Cougars do come up with it. Big play towards the net. Shot and a save made by Dickinson. Shuts down the attempt by Aiden Cummins. Bengals send it forward deep, trying to make something happen. Instead, it's taken away by the Cougars once more. Wister still with it. Tries to play it forward for Ward. Now right to the front. This shot bounces wide and goes out of bounds with 25 seconds remaining. Taking another look at the save. Cummins, point blank range. And just a swing of the stick to clear it away. Cougars have it offensively. 15 seconds left in this game. They lead by 10 goals. Doesn't look like they're going to take one final shot before it's all said and done. Or will they? Ankrum spins, loses the ball. Nope, he'll hold on. And we finish with a 14-4 win for the Centennial Cougars. They improve to 6-0 atop the Northwest Suburban standings. The Bengals drop to 5-2. I want to thank you all for tuning in tonight. For our entire North Metro TV crew, I'm John Haddon saying so long from Centennial High School, where the Cougars win by 10.